So pleased to welcome to our show Lovin Cee. He is an on-air personality or presenter, as they call them, in Ghana. He's wildly popular, also a community activist in his own right, and you've heard him on this show before, and I've had the pleasure of appearing on his shows as well. He is just one of the leading air personalities, media personalities in Ghana. Lovin Cee, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you doing?
I'm blessed. It's so great to hear your voice.
Yeah, I heard you mentioning birthday, so we should start preparing for your birthday in June somewhere. We should start getting ready because you're the queen of the airways, you know?
Oh, you're very kind. Of course, we met in Accra when I had the opportunity to come on your radio show, and you're just always abreast of all of the issues touching not just Africans, but African Americans, and always including, our plight and our struggles on your airwaves. And I just want to give appreciation to you for that.
Thank you so much. I'm the unofficial African American ambassador down here, and I do my job. Of course, with the support of Down to the Land and the Bridge to Africa Connection, we are here for you, and we make sure that we bridge the gap as we're doing at the moment.
Yeah. And you've introduced me to Minister Catherine Afeku. She's a politician, member of the New Patriotic Party. She is also a member of the Parliament for the Evalu Guira constituency in the Western region. She's an experienced minister, and she has former Minister of Tourism. Good morning, Minister Afeku.
Good morning, Dominique. It's great to hear your voice, listen to you a couple of times, and thank you, Lovin Cee, for linking us up.
Yeah, it's great to hear your voice as well. You have a natural radio voice, Minister.
Well, thank you.
Well, we've been having a lot of conversation on this show lately about, I don't know if it's because of the rise of white supremacy in the United States or because of just a renewed affection for our roots in the motherland of Africa, but we've been having a lot of conversation about what it takes for a Black American to become a citizen of Ghana or another African nation. Can you kind of break that down for us, Minister Afeku?
Sure. First, we have to thank you and your listeners for showing interest in the motherland, and also to thank you for giving us, myself, Lovin Cee, the platform to share what we have, which is really yours and mine. In Ghana, which is a country that I know best, we have a ministry called the Ministry of Interior that is solely responsible for naturalization, citizenship, security, and immigration issues. So the Ministry of Interior. And in this ministry, they have an act, a law, that's the Citizenship Act, Act 2000, that lays out the step-by-step of what you can go through, just like in the U.S., to naturalize, to become a citizen. Now, the good news is there is a legal instrument, a legislative instrument passed for the Ministry of Interior, specifically geared towards our Africans in the diaspora. People of African descent in the diaspora have a facility that we call the right of abode. It simply means you can pack up your bags, you can come to Ghana, and you can stay. But of course, you will go through a process. So we have the right of abode, which will be the first step before you go on to acquiring citizenship. And what that basically means is you come in, you register with the Ministry of Interior. Of course, you get a valid visa, you enter the country legally, and you go to the Ministry of Interior to register that you are an African living in the diaspora and you want to exercise the right of abode. That is the provision made by the laws in the country called Ghana. That will take about 6 months when you've done the application.
That's amazing. So there is a recognition that we are children of Africa, and although you wouldn't get immediate citizenship, you would be able to stay through that right of abode, which acknowledges the connection between African Americans or Africa's children throughout the diaspora and the motherland.
Precisely. And as a matter of fact, when I was the tourism ministry, I traveled with our president, President Nana Addo Dankwa, to Washington. I met some of your congressmen and women to commemorate the 400th anniversary of the unfortunate transition to the Americas. So we dubbed the 2019 as the year of return, where there was a major clarion call for children of the motherland to see Ghana as their natural home and to return. But here is the sweet part of it. You have acquired citizenship in America. You are American by birth, by naturalization, and now Ghana is opening its doors. Africa, basically, is giving you the opportunity to have that dual citizenship. But Ghana, I would say, is one of the first of few countries that has laid out rules and regulations and processes for you to go through. So you start off slowly with right of abode. You check out the country, you talk to those who are here. We have a very solid African-American association in Ghana with a president who's an African-American. She's married to a Ghanaian, but she still has her silly cheese moments. And these are family members that we can guide you and walk you through before you take the big step of either renouncing the U.S. citizenship or having the dual nationality, which the laws of Ghana permit. So I've sent you the two documents. They're right up on it. And that will be the first step I would advise our cousins on the other side to go through.
So I'll make sure I let my boss, the owner of this radio station, Stevie Wonder, he says he's moving to Ghana. I'm sure he knows he has the right of abode, but let him know he can start his process.
We are anxiously waiting to give him the red carpet treatment, because if he comes, I know, Dominique, you will come too.
Oh, that's a good call. Lovin Cee, talk to me about World Africa Day. We didn't, we were so focused on the tragedy of George Floyd that we didn't get a chance to really focus on it. Talk to me about the origins of World Africa Day and what it really means to Africa and to the diaspora.
Yeah, talking about the Africa Day, I mean, we all know that 58 years ago, last Tuesday, marked the time that African countries came together to form the Organization of African Unity, for us to come on a common front and begin to help this continent that is so much endowed. Almost a half or more than a half of the world's riches are here in our land, and we need to harness that to our benefit. Platinum, cobalt, gold, diamond, and the rest of it, we have all that here. It's left the management of it for it to get to the benefit of its citizens. And we had this happening way back. It was championed by our own Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, blessed memory, and NASA and the rest of them. And last Tuesday was quiet, but I mean, we had a special occasion in Parliament in Ghana where the parliamentarians spent some time on it. And those of us on the radio stations also run radio shows on it. It was a holiday in certain African countries. But what we usually do on such days is that we sit down and reflect on the continent of Africa and how best we can make it better for the citizens and for those of you out there in the diaspora so that you can join us and we can forge ahead. Africa has so much potential. I see it as the next leader of the 21st century. And if we put our act right, we should be leading the world. It's not beyond us. We only need to get our acts together and then make sure that we do the right things at the right time. And it starts with the right step. And I'm sure that was why the Organization of African Unity was formed. And the leaders did that. I mean, there was a conference in certain African countries. And I know that it will not only be words, but implementation, which is what we are all waiting for, will start manifesting. We were shut down by COVID-19 last year. We've had problems coming out of it, but I mean, gradually businesses are returning to normal, and I'm sure that we'll get back onto the road of recovery and make sure that we put Africa right in front.
Yeah, the African Union put out the theme for World Africa Day this year as Arts, Culture, and Heritage, Levers for Building the Africa We Want. And that's part of what you do, Lovin Cee, is use arts and culture through your radio platform and through the live events that you produce and host to sort of bring people together and move the needle on progress. What role do you see the African American arts and culture playing in helping to build the Africa that we want?
It's quite apart from the minerals. Africa is so much endowed with our culture and our tradition. We do so much. I mean, when you came to Ghana, I'm sure you saw a lot. I mean, our culture is so
yes.
rich, particularly if you come to the Ashanti, there's a lot that you get to see. I mean, the Kente Club, the dance, the music, the language, the food. I'm sure you're still missing the food in Ghana. I mean, that is what we are using our platforms to advertise at the moment. We used to be on the quiet, but with this government coming into power, we've all been pushing. I mean, the country was just talking about the year of return. I mean, there's the awareness now on the radio stations and how they are using the social media to make sure that we drown the positives of Ghana, particularly the arts, the culture, the tradition and all that. And I think we need to do more. I mean, but for COVID, I'm sure would have been somewhere up there because the next return to Africa would have been great for COVID. So I'm very optimistic that going ahead, right now that we've had the vaccines, we've had the second shot already, the AstraZeneca shot in Ghana. This government is doing very well with the management of the COVID. I'm sure very soon some of the shops and the entertainment sites that were closed will start getting open. And then we'll get back to our blueprints of making sure that we make Africa number one and Ghana the entry point.
All right. Yeah, I know COVID-19 changed a lot of things. We had planned to travel to South Africa in 2020, and actually that trip has been postponed until 2022 because people weren't comfortable traveling, because in many cases countries were shut down or airlines were shut down, and it didn't seem feasible. So that was really sad, and I wondered, how is that impacting the well-being, the economy, and also the health of people in Ghana specifically? I find what we're hearing in the news reports is that, many African nations are not able to get the vaccines, and that there has been concern about a greater spread of COVID. But what is your impression of that, Lovin Cee? When you as a presenter, I'm sure you get a lot of information, and you said that you're starting to see things open.
I would say COVID has been really managed effectively here in Ghana. I mean, the government of the day has done very well. As I speak to you now, I mean, we've had over 97,000 reported cases of COVID. Over 93,000 have recovered. We only have about 783 deaths. Not to say it's not that much, but I mean, it's been well managed. And we've had our second shot. I mean, we had the second shot this very week. Some African countries haven't even had the first shot. What it means is that it's being effectively managed over here by the government of the day. And so I am very sure that very soon we'll start opening. At the moment as I talk, some of the tourist sites have been opened. The pubs are working, but we are all using the COVID protocols where we sanitize and we wear the mask and go through all the protocols that go with COVID-19. But most of the nightclubs remain shut, and we can't have large gatherings. But with the second shot in place, I mean, they are ongoing. I mean, they're doing it as we talk. I'm sure that we'll start opening up a little bit more so that those of you out in the diaspora can come in your numbers and to visit the tourist sites and make sure that we get the necessary attention and revenue that we need to push this country and the continent forward.
2023, we're coming back to Ghana, so I hope you're ready, and I hope those nightclubs are back open.
I mean, you heard Captain talking about the fact that we want to give TV One the red carpet. We're waiting for you. In fact, we're waiting for Radio Free, the African branch, the Ghana branch, to be set up in Kumasi or in Accra. And you are supposed to be coming down, so we're waiting for you to come. Maybe I'll partner you on that radio station.
That sounds amazing, Radio Free Africa. Minister Catherine Afeku, you were a big part of the 2019 year of return, and I was in Ghana. I was one of the ones who returned. We returned with about 55 of our friends from this radio community. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, powerful experience. I'm so glad that I went. But you were part of making it possible for celebrities and high-profile African Americans to come. Tell me about that experience. Yeah. Why did you do it, and how did it go?
Well, I still have that goosebumps when I think of it. Started off with Boris Kojo and his friends, of course. Like you said, the celebrities, we did the Full Circle Festival. This was all part of the commemoration to usher in Year of Return. And that was December 2018, where he brought Michael J. White and Rosario Dawson, A.J. Johnson, the few that I remember. But there are quite a number of them, about 50 plus with family. And it was amazing. From entry at the airport to hotel to all the activities we did together, it was truly historical. And basically the message, of course, the president had breakfast with all of them, Shimon, Honsu, and most of them, as I remember some of the names, I'll tell you. But the planning and the whole vision was to let people know, have a window into the soul of Africa, that it's not all about diseases and poverty, but there are options for people of African descent. And it was a powerful statement. When the celebrities came, of course, all the news media, global news media followed them. And that opened a different window for how Africa is perceived for our own family members. Because there's a lot of misinformation that you die if you get on the continent, they'll kill you, they'll eat you. Say Steve Harvey walking in the street and making in Accra or crying at a slave dungeon, then they know that it's real. And it's almost like a pull for our brethren and sisters that if you do Ghana, you have a renewed sense of pride that you have an option. You don't have to feel afraid driving while black. So that was the message. And then we did Year of Return. That opened a bigger opportunity that, look, you have a choice. We don't want too many Floyds on our conscience. You have a choice. You can have a home in Ghana and a home in LA, or you can live all your life in Ghana and go to LA for vacation. It's a gradual process, but the key message is you have a choice. And this year's Africa Day celebration, really the theme is so apt. Our art, our culture, and our heritage, and how it's impacted the world. So yes, hosting our family members and doing the full circle was a strong message to everyone in the diaspora that at least in your lifetime, make that journey. Come home and see the options. It's not as easy as you may read it or you may see it, but you have to feel it. And when you come, it's either you're touched, your soul, or you're touched emotionally or economically. And that is where we don't normally associate Africa with huge business opportunities on the continent. And the solution is with you, the diaspora. You have the skills, you have the international appeal, and you have efficiency in service delivery. The only difference is you haven't come yet. You can start little business. Domino's is in Accra, and I'm like, who brought? Nothing against our Indian brethren, but we are looking for an African American to have a soul food restaurant in town. There are opportunities that may not be a McDonald's level, but at our level, you start small and you can have your own franchise. There is enough on the continent for those who are ready to take that leap of faith and make a home for ourselves. You know, you don't have to be fearful of driving at night. Yes, you have to be cautious, but it's not like in the States. And I've lived there. I've done Atlanta for 10 years. So I know the difference. Here you feel a sense of ownership. On the other side, you feel like you're on lease. And that is the gift our president wanted to give all of us.
Yeah, it's well said. Lovin Cee, I remember when I was at the radio station and you guys were asking us, you know, why don't you move? Like they kill black people, police kill black people in the United States. Why don't you guys move? I don't get it. And for me, that was one of those aha moments because I just never really thought about it like that. If I was here, every cop that pulled me over would be black. Like if I got in trouble, that wouldn't be the reason.
I think it's about time.
Yeah.
Yes. So Ghana gives that opportunity. Ghana gives that choice. It's not for everyone, but it's for the brave, it's for the adventurous, and it's also for those who are connected, spiritually with the continent. This is your natural habitat. Here is home. And no one can take that away from you.
Lovin Cee, what were you saying? You were saying something about that conversation we had regarding the police here and there.
Yes, I would say there's no place like home. And it's about time that you guys reunited with your ancestors. It's about time, like Captain is saying. It's about time. And I hope that the next major journey, the next major pilgrimage is supposed to be to the land of the ancestors, where we all came from. So we are here. Like Captain is saying, there are lots of opportunities for everybody. Whether you are a doctor, a media person, a legal practitioner, the doors are open. Now the world has been reduced to a global village. You can be here and still be on the internet and do your stuff. And so it's something that needs to be tapped, talking about the opportunities that we have over here. We can do something about it. You can come, like you came with your team. The others who have been made the trip can come and have a look at the culture, the way of life, and you'll be happy. Lots of things that we hear about Africa in print over there in the Western world, most of them, unfortunately, are false. You need to come and see with your very eyes and tell your own story, like you came to see with your friends and your team with Radio Free. So Africa is the next champion of the world, the next economic tiger for the 21st century. That's how I see it. And I know it's already started.
For sure. And you were, Lovin Cee, you were very adamant about telling African Americans, asking us to consider not just the opportunities, but also lending our expertise to the continent, to Ghana. And I never thought about it that way either, because I'm like, well, what do I have to offer? But you say you think that we do have a lot to offer.
You have plenty.
Yeah,
you have so much to offer.
I've even somebody put up a hospital, for instance, or a school, for instance. It could be a model school, it could be a model hospital. And then those of us here who have been trained over here can learn from some of the things that you guys have a little bit beyond us, so that we can catch up. And then we can create a very wonderful continent, which could be way ahead of what everybody's thinking about. So there are opportunities. We just have to take the first step. And unfortunately, what is happening on the other side is that the Chinese are coming in droves. I wish to go to African Americans too, but I just pray that, we really not fast and move. Because it looks as if we are allowing the Chinese to come in their numbers. We are supposed to be doing that. We are supposed to be reuniting with our ancestors. This is our land, and we need to make it happen. So I'm very happy with what Stevie Wonder is doing, and I hope that the rest of the African American community will follow suit.
Just a few moments left here today. Minister Afeku, if you could just quickly tell us some of the things that people don't think about. I know I was amazed by the beaches of Africa, the great waterfall of Lee, that people don't think about that they would see in traveling to Ghana.
Yes. Two things. The security of Ghana is paramount. You feel safe when you're here. You don't feel attacked or oppressed. That's the most critical one. But the business opportunities, because I am in the hospitality industry, I see a lot of bed and breakfast opportunities. Because you are from America, service delivery is something you can do, like coffee shops. I woke up for the last 10 years. I came home, I was looking for ice and bagel, and I couldn't find it. And you crave for certain things that you have acclimatized yourself with. So these are opportunities, and we have 16 regions. Just yesterday, I come from a coastal town. It's called Axim, AXIM. I met 5 ladies from Philadelphia. They are just come on a vacation. Beautiful beaches, warm and friendly people. But you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't want Dunkin' Donuts. The equivalent of that. How about someone does a bed and breakfast or just a coffee shop?
Yes,
to
that
cater
sounds
to
great.
our people. Yeah, something small. You can do that with very little money, and it gives you satisfaction. But you're also meeting a service need. So in the service industry, there's huge opportunity: technology, real estate, and agriculture. These are areas that you can never go wrong. So if you ask me, and every day there's a new opportunity, service delivery. It's there all around us.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there. It's actually time to pass the microphone to Steve Harvey, Minister Catherine Afeku, and Lovin Cee. I can't wait to see you guys in 2023, and I hope to talk with you before then. Thank you so much for sharing with us this morning.
You're most welcome. We wait for you in Accra.
Thank you. Dominique, and regard to Steve Harvey, tell him we're watching his CD program in Ghana.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Oh, say hello. Say hello to Steve for us. It's a wrap. We're waiting for him in Accra.
All right, both Stevie Wonder, Steve Harvey, love Africa. As you go on your way about your day, family, let's take a moment to affirm ourselves. And I'll see you tomorrow for Open Phones. Let's take that deep breath in and let us release. Today, let me remember, in the words of the great Ghanaian president, Kwame Nkrumah, forward ever, backward never. Until next time, Radio Free Family, one